you should be using a screenshot tool. If you are a software developer right now, you're either working remotely or you're working with people with whom you're not co-located. And it's probably come up that you've needed to explain something about code to people and you found it more difficult because you can't do it in person. You can't just tap them on the shoulder. So here I've got a Slack window and over here I've got some code. Let's just bump that up a little bit here. So let's say I'm looking through this class and I realize there's an issue with the code, something small like this line right here and this line right here. We are duplicating an error message. Maybe I think that's not acceptable. Maybe I think that we should have some kind of custom exception. So trying to explain things through text, especially about code, can be pretty frustrating sometimes. So this class is called the card class. So you might write, hey team, in the card class, we are duplicating string literals. Can't type. There we go. String literals or something like that. And then people say, what do you mean? And you say, look at the error messages. And hopefully at this point, people will actually get what's going on, but maybe they won't. So then you say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to copy all this text right here so they can see that I'm duplicating error messages. So you copy it and then you throw it into Slack like this. But as you can see, Slack does no syntax highlighting, so it's not really clear what the issue is. It's not really that much more helpful than text. All right, so you need a screenshot tool, but there are a few requirements. The first one is you have to be able to open it very, very quickly. It can't be a slow tool. I'm using FlameShot on Linux, and I have it bound to Super I. So look at that. Look how quickly that opens up. So I hit Super I, and I can take a screenshot at any moment. If I want to take a screenshot of my face like this, I can do it super easy. Okay, so you have to be able to open it very quickly. But the other thing is you need to be able to annotate it in some way. So again, here, it's nice that I'm able to send them this nice colorful screenshot like this. That is more useful, I think, because at least it's in color here. But annotations actually help a lot. You really want to be able to mark up your image and explain exactly what the issue is. Okay, so what do I mean by annotating things? Let me show you here. So in FlameShot, I can get my screenshot, and then there's a little arrow tool here that I can use, and then I can just point at everything like this, like that. And then when I copy that over, I can say, these are duplicated. Okay, so already I think this is getting a lot more clear. I'm able to point out the issue to people. So FlameShot also allows me to do text, so I can take a screenshot, grab my text, or let's do an arrow first, so something like that, an arrow. Then I can add some text that says something like, this should be a custom error class, something like that. Great, and then I can copy it again and paste it. So they say that a picture is worth 1,024 words, and in this case, I really think that's true. It's just so much more obvious looking at this what the exact issue is. You've got syntax hiding, you've got an arrow, and you've got a description right there. Imagine trying to write that out in a paragraph. I think this is a lot easier for people to understand. Something that I like about FlameShot is that it also lets me change the font. So if I go in here, select text, I hit space, and I can go grab a different font. So let's find Gohu font. That's a fun one. And I can use that new font to type a message. This is not great code. And if you've got your computer set up so that you can insert emojis really quickly, like I have, then you can also copy those in here. So I can do something like this, like that. Just really drive home the fact that I think their code's not great. Okay, so again, the keys here are that you should be able to open this thing very quickly. It should be easier for you to take a screenshot than it is for you to try and explain the issue with the code. It's probably going to take about 5 minutes to get this set up, and you'll save yourself and your teammates a lot of headaches. If you're a front-end dev, I think this is even more helpful because a lot of what you do is visual. So maybe you find out that a button looks a little bit weird. You go in here, you inspect it, and you look at some of the padding or something like that. Throw an arrow here, throw an arrow down here, and then type, what's up with this padding, Mike? So screen capture tool is great, but the next step would actually be screen recording, which is what I'm doing obviously right now. I have it set up so that I can start screen recording very, very quickly and then send them off to people. And in the case where I'm looking at bad code like this, I'll put a dumpster on fire going down a river just so they get a sense of how I feel actually about their code. Sometimes pictures just aren't enough. You actually need a video to communicate how you really feel about something. And just in case you can't tell, I'm joking around a bit. The code that I wrote is obviously my own code. I would never do that to a coworker. Unless they really wrote some awful code, then I guess I'd have to.